This AI voice assistant handles 90% of all inbound phone calls for property management companies. They no longer have to schedule appointments, answer basic questions about their services, deal with tenants who need repairs. Everything is outsourced to this AI agent. Let me show you how to build it.
Hey there, my name is Alice. I'm the support agent at IMB Property Management. How can I help you today?
Hi, my name is Liam. I was wondering if you also handle the tenant screening process.
Hi Liam. Yes, we do handle the tenant screening process. Our tenant screening includes background checks, credit checks, and rental history verification
Nice.
to ensure a smooth leasing experience. If you have any more questions or need further assistance, feel free to ask.
I wanted to know some info about a very specific property.
Sure, Liam, I can help with that. Could you please provide me with the address or any specific details about the property you're interested in? I'll transfer you to our property info assistant who can provide all the details you need.
Sure, I was looking at 123 Maple Street, Springfield.
Alright, I'm connecting you with our specialist for property inquiries.
Hey, I'm Will. How can I help?
Hey Will, I was wondering if you can get me some general info on 123 Maple Street, Springfield.
Just a moment. Oh, 123 Maple Street? That's a modern design featuring an open layout, smart appliances, eco-friendly features, and spacious common areas.
Nice.
The cost per...
Oh yeah, sorry.
If you
Could you give me the cost per square meter actually?
The cost per square meter per month for 123 Maple Street is $18.
Nice.
If there's anything...
Yeah, actually,
I could help.
in my current property, I have some mold and I need a repair. Could you help me with that?
I'm sorry to hear about the mold issue. I can connect you with our repair team right away to get this resolved for you. Just
Great.
a moment while I transfer you.
Great, thanks.
Alright, I'm connecting you with our specialist for property repairs. Hey, this is Jonathan. I heard that you're in need of a repair service?
Yes, I am. I have a bit of a problem.
I understand. I'm here to help. Could you please provide me with a brief summary of the issue and your tenant ID?
Sure, my tenant ID is 6421, and the issue is that I have a lot of mold spreading through my apartment. It's getting really bad, and I'm wondering if I even have to move out.
Just a
because
moment.
It's getting bad.
I'm filing your request.
Thanks.
I've filed the request. You can expect a response within 24 hours. We'll make sure to get this sorted out for you as quickly as possible. Thank you for reporting the issue, and rest assured, we've got this covered.
Thanks. Actually, could I also book an appointment for just a
Of course.
meetup?
Alright, I'm connecting you with our specialist for scheduling.
Hey, this is Lucy. What kind of appointment are you looking for?
Hey Lucy, I was looking for
Hello?
a
How
consultation.
can I assist you today?
I was looking for a consultation for one of my rental properties. It's short notice, but what times do you have available tomorrow?
I'd be happy to help you schedule a consultation for one of your rental properties. Could you please let me know what time you'd prefer tomorrow, and I'll check the availability for you?
Sure. What about 1 p.m.?
Alright, I'm just checking our calendar. Unfortunately, 1 p.m. is not available. However, we do have openings at 11 a.m., 3 p.m., and 4 p.m.
Let's
Would
do
any of these
11
times
a.m.
work
then.
for you?
Yeah, 11 a.m.
Great choice. Let's go ahead and book your appointment for 11 a.m. tomorrow. Could you please provide me with your full name, email address, phone number, and the reason for the appointment?
Sure. My full name is Liam Anthony, and the reason for the appointment is just to get a consultation. My email address is luminadigital.media@gmail.com, and my phone number is 01234567.
Thank you, Liam. Just to confirm, your email address is luminadigital.media@gmail.com, and your phone number is 01234567. Is that correct?
That's correct. Could you book the appointment for me?
Okay, I'm booking the appointment now. Your appointment has been successfully booked for 11 a.m. tomorrow, February 26, 2025. You will receive a confirmation email shortly. We look forward to seeing you soon. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Have a great day.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome, Liam. Have a great day.
There you go. And that's how you can see how powerful one of these AI voice solutions is. As you can see, they hand off tasks to different assistants, and that way the assistant doesn't get overwhelmed, and you can add infinite features to this AI voice caller. In the next couple of minutes, I'll show you exactly how I set this up and how you can do this for your property management company. Alright, so now that you've actually seen what this AI assistant looks like, let me show you how to build one. This won't be a step-by-step tutorial that would take around 2 hours, but it'll be a tutorial showing you what to think about when creating one of these agents and explaining the overall architecture of the build. If you want to see a 2-hour real start to finish build of one of these, you can just let me know in the comments and we can happily do that. Alright, so this is the overall architecture of the build. You start by making 4 agents, and these 4 agents together are called a squad. Now the reason for making 4 and not just 1 is that the agent would get overwhelmed if it has so many functions and tools and things to think about. So for example, if we try to cram all of those into one, it'd start hallucinating. Hallucinating is a term for basically the agent starting to make up things that aren't true. So in order to actually have more control over the process, you break it down into smaller parts. I talked about this. Actually, the best example for this is my AI voice-to-quote document software, which I talked about in a previous video. You can see exactly why you break a task down into lots of small parts, because it just gives you a crazy amount of control over these processes. Now, the first agent that is called is the middle one, the customer success agent. This is just basically for answering basic questions that you don't want to spend your time with, right? So for example, what you do is you'd upload some documents. I've just made a really generic document for the made-up IMB Property Management Company. Actually, I realized that there's a company called IMB Property Management. I haven't built this for them, of course, but if you'd like it built for yourself, it's all ready. You can have it if you'd like. And yeah, no, it's just a made-up company. So what you do in a knowledge base is basically add all the information you want your assistant to know. The best format for this is something like Q&A, right? So you could add something like the most frequently asked questions, add them in there, and the assistant will be able to answer them. You can also add things like phone numbers or emails. The only rule for a knowledge base is the longer you make it, the longer the assistant will take to respond, and also therefore the more expensive it will be, right? So try to really compress it down and just make it as concise as possible. This is basically all the first assistant does, is take care of all of those questions and answers that you would usually have to waste your time with. For more difficult questions, it can of course reroute this to a normal human. Now, from this point on, if the customer requests to book an appointment, it gets sent to the appointment agent, whose only job is to update the calendar and send confirmation emails. You can also send them to the repairs department, which updates the CRM, or to a property info agent, which is able to help new prospective tenants to find the right property. You can add a lot more to this process. For example, you could add a tenant screening agent, which already pre-qualifies new tenants for you. But this basic process already allows you to outsource, I'd say, at least 70% of your phone calls on a daily basis. Now, in order to build one of these, you will need 3 things: Vapi, Make, and an OpenAI account. We'll start with Vapi. Vapi is basically the main hub for building the voice assistant. So there are 3 steps to this. Number 1, you build the assistants. 2, you build the tools. And number 3, you put them into a squad. To build the assistants, the main thing you'll need is the tools and the prompts. The prompts, the next video coming out is actually about how to make a good prompt for a voice assistant. So stay tuned for that. But I will leave all the prompts in the description for you to download. So the prompt, basically what you do is you tell it its role, that it's an assistant that helps people to answer questions from the knowledge base. You give it the step-by-step process of how it should retrieve answers from the knowledge base, and then you can also add stuff like style and tone, or give it specific examples. And the notes section is basically just for if something's not working, chuck it in the notes section and you're most likely good to go. One of the things most people don't realize when they ask us, why does it take 2 weeks to build one of these? All you do is write a prompt. And yeah, actually to build the initial concept, this didn't take me longer than maybe 16 hours, right? But the thing is, you can hope that it works like you want it to, but the reason why it takes so long is because we want this to be bulletproof. We don't want the AI to accidentally leak some tenant information. We always want it to respond in a specific way. So we do up to 5 or 10 hours of testing before actually releasing one of these to one of our clients. So that's the part where you have to invest your most time, tweaking it, testing it, talking to it lots to make sure that there are no gaps in the system. Now, next thing I'd like to talk about is the voice. Make sure to select different voices for the assistants, because if the assistant says transferring you to the property info agent and keeps talking in the same voice, you're going to wonder if you've actually been transferred, right? So try to pick different voices. There are plenty to choose from. Now, the functions. In this case, this assistant has no functions. The only thing it has is a knowledge base. To upload the knowledge base, unfortunately, Vapi does not have an easy way to do this. I've linked a video in the description. That's the one that I used how to actually build one of these. So check that out. He explains it very well. And it is a little more technical, but I believe that Vapi is working on a solution to make this a lot more user-friendly in the future. All right, this was the first assistant, the customer success agent. The next one is the repair agent. The repair agent, basically the same process, right? You tell it what its role is, tell it to listen to what repair needs to be done, gather some info, and then assess how urgent the repair is. And this is where the tools come in. So as soon as it's gathered all the information, you can give it a function or a tool, which is to update the CRM. The CRM, in our case, I've just made a spreadsheet. You can of course integrate this into your real CRM, but in this case, I've just made basic info with tenant IDs, apartments, some details, and then here you see the repair status and the repair summary. Those are the two fields that will be updated. So this is what happens. Basically, when the assistant has gathered all the information, it knows, okay, I need to now trigger my tool. I need to reach out to the CRM. To build a tool, you would click on New Tool, and then this is what it looks like. Within the tool, you first of all give it a description of when to use this tool, and then you add variables. This is actually really interesting. Basically, these are variables that you can send across to the CRM, so the AI in the conversation will listen out for name, address, tenant ID, repair status, and generate a summary. And those things are automatically extracted and then sent over to the spreadsheet. How do you send them over? How do you connect those two? That's done with make.com. You create a scenario like this, for example. What this does is this red part here, the webhook, receives the information, quickly filters if this is actually the right tool that's being called, because sometimes VoiceFlow sends over a call summary at the end, or things that aren't supposed to be put into the CRM. So this is just a quick filter. And there are two things that happened here. The first thing is that it listens for the tenant ID and then selects which row in the spreadsheet is that tenant ID in. So in our case, for example, we said our tenant ID is 6421. It'd know row 15. That is then sent to the next module. It then knows, okay, row number is 15. And then here we have all the cells, right? The property address, the contact number, but we only want to update the repair summary and the repair status. And to update these, this is where the variables come in. These are the variables that were sent across through this tool. So repair summary and status get extracted by the AI and then sent across into here. And that then updates these two fields with the status and the summary of the repair. Okay, that is in essence all you need to know. Also for the other agents, that's the overall concept of how to get these agents to do more than just speak and answer questions, but actually really feel into your business and update CRM or make appointments. We'll go over the other ones as well. So next, for example, we'd have the appointments assistant. I've already covered this in a previous video on how I built an AI that manages my calendar. Basically, you tell it to work with the customer to find the right appointment, and it has two functions. Function number one is to check if that time is available, and function number two is to book that time in the calendar. And in this case, it gets sent to another make scenario, which would be this one. This will look a little more complex, of course, but don't worry, I can walk you through it. So basically what happens, this is where the info is received. Here, the time is converted into a uniform time format. This is basically a filter which checks, is it a weekday or is it a weekend? Because most companies don't work on the weekend. It would send a response back saying, sorry, we're closed. And this over here is another filter checking which of the two functions were being called. You can of course have two separate workflows for this, but I find it easier to just have it all compact in one. If, for example, the person has just asked, is 10 a.m. available on Friday? It'll go up here, check the calendar, and extract the times that are already busy. Then there's two options. If the whole day is free, then it sends a request back, sends a response back saying, pick your time. If not the whole day is free, which will be most cases, we first send this through ChatGPT, because for whatever reason, make.com only extracts the busy times, which makes sense, I guess. But we don't want to tell the customer, sorry, we're busy then, and then. We'd like to have the opposite. We'd like to suggest some available times, which is why we pass this through a prompt saying, this was the requested time from the customer. This is the time slots that are already busy. Could you please suggest 3 available time slots between, for example, 8 a.m. and 7 p.m., right, between in your work times. And then that formulates that into the available time slots and sends it back to the assistant. So now you know what times are available and you can select a time. And then if you've decided on a time, it'll send it down this path, booking an appointment in the calendar, and then it'll also use ChatGPT to write an email for you, which is then sent to the customer's email. And these are all variables that are once again extracted within the conversation, sent through to Make, and then you get a nice personalized email confirming the appointment. The last one is the property info agent. This could be, for example, when tenants are requesting specific information on a property, or they might be living in a property and ask something like, what are the rules for pets in my property? And in this case, we'd have a property sheet, and then it could look for the row, right? It would find the right property, look at the rules, and then see no pets are allowed, for example. And in order to accommodate for this, you would create something that looks a bit like this. Right, once again, also 3 different functions depending on what type of request you've made. If you wanted to first of all search for a property and give you general info, it'll go down one path. If you already know which property you're looking for, it'll go down another path giving you specific info. If you have no idea what you're looking for and just need recommendations, it'll go through here. And the only reason for filtering these is to basically tell these modules what to search for within the sheet. Right? You can customize this as many times as you like. You can make a whole tree, a whole family out of this. There's really infinite possibilities, which I find very exciting. This is just a very simple way of outsourcing most repetitive question and answer tasks from a dynamic knowledge base. The last thing that you have to do when making one of these assistants is to actually put them together into a squad. For this, navigate down to the squad section, and then you can click on New Squad. Here you can add your first member, for example, Customer Success Agent. And from here on, you can keep adding more agents. So you click on the plus in the right corner, add the property agent, then you'd add the appointment agent, and then you'd add the repair agent. And as you can see, you've got the customer success agent. The first one that you import will be the first point of contact. Now, what you have to do is you can click on these 3 dots, and you can click destination settings. And as you can see, there are no destinations hooked up yet. What you have to do is you have to connect all of these. I don't like the way Vapi has done this. It's very, it just looks a little weird. You'll see what I mean. So basically, you take this, you drag it onto property info. That's all fine. Then you have to drag this down to appointments as well. and then you drag it down to repairs. And now what you have to do is you of course have to link up all of these back to the original one so that they can transfer back to the original one as well. So you link that one up, this one up, and that one. Right, that's all good. But now when you link these up with each other, it starts getting a little bit confusing. So we'd link property info up with appointments, like that. We'd link property info up with repairs. Then we link appointments up with property info, appointments up with repairs. And this is where it gets really hard to keep track of. And then we link repairs up with appointments and repairs up with property info. There we go. And now when you click on these three dots, you can go onto destination settings and you can see the individual assistants. And then you can go down and here it's quite cool. You can add a message. For example, you can say something like, all right, I'm connecting you with our specialist for general inquiries, or in this case, property. This will be the message that gets said once while being transferred. And then here you can add a description when you want the assistant to transfer to someone else. So for example, transfer to this assistant when the caller asks about a specific property, right? And then you click on save. And unfortunately you have to do this for every single one now, so you've got a bit of work to do. But that's the way of actually getting all of these into one squad, which can then communicate and send the assistants back and forth between one another. Just make sure that they're all actually linked up. Every assistant should be linked up to every other assistant in this case, because otherwise you might end up in a situation where you can't go back from repairs to the general customer success agent. Alright, that is the overall concept. I hope that you've had some new ideas. I hope that you've learned something new from this. Once again, if you'd like me to go deeper into one of these modules, if you want me to show you how to set one of these up from start to finish, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you learned something and have a great day.